So just imagine you're just driving down the freeway. La, la, la. Is my cancer back? I don't know. Just a checkup. Boom. Your daughter's kidnapped. I need you to give me $25,000 and I need you to kidnap another kid. And if you don't, I'm going to shoot your kid. So as you can imagine, that is very stressful. Ooh, like talk about starting your week off terribly. Hi, hello, and welcome to the Cozy Little Book Club. I'm your host, Taylor. Thanks for joining. So I know that it's Christmas time, but I really haven't been in a mood to read any warm, fuzzy Christmas stories lately. So I haven't. I know that I was kind of on a theme for Halloween, but that rhymes. But yeah, I'm not really feeling that way for Christmas. I love Christmas time. I love that everybody feels super happy and warm and fuzzy, but I just haven't been in the mood to read that kind of story. So this is not that. So if you thought this was a Christmas book, think again. It is another thriller. The book that I'm talking about today is, drumroll please, The Chain by Adrian McKinley. There are a few trigger warnings in this book. Nothing says Christmas like trigger warnings. This story deals with suicide, suicidal thoughts, kidnapping, murder, and blackmail. So this book starts off hot, fast. Immediately at the beginning of the book, a 13-year-old by the name of Kylie is kidnapped while she is waiting on the bus to go to school. While she's getting kidnapped, her mom, Rachel, is on the way to an appointment for her oncologist. Rachel is a breast cancer survivor, and her doctor wanted her to come up to check out some of her blood count. On her way to the doctor, Rachel gets a phone call from someone using a voice modulator saying that they have kidnapped her daughter, Kylie. At first, she doesn't believe them and think that they have the wrong number, which is kind of like a funny thought process, because if someone's like, oh, I kidnapped your daughter, like, actually, I think you have the wrong number. Like, that's kind of crazy. But yes, she doesn't believe them until she gets a second call from a very frantic and scared woman who claims that she has Kylie. And in her mind, she's like, this lady doesn't have my child. But as soon as she thinks that, she gets a text message with a picture of Kylie on the bottom of someone's basement floor. It is a nightmare for any, I won't even just say mother. I would think that anybody that you love being kidnapped would just, and then seeing a picture of them in like a shady kind of area would put anyone on alarm. It's really a lot for any mom to deal with, especially if you think your cancer might be coming back. So just imagine you're just driving down the freeway. La, la, la. Is my cancer back? I don't know. Just a checkup. Boom. Your daughter's kidnapped. I need you to give me $25,000 and I need you to kidnap another kid. And if you don't, I'm going to shoot your kid. So as you can imagine, that is very stressful. Ooh, like talk about starting your week off terribly. Talk about it. So now that she's alert, while on this phone call, the woman is giving Rachel a list of demands. To keep it short, basically what Rachel has to do is deposit $25,000 ransom, and then she has to kidnap another kid so that that woman could free Kylie. And then once Rachel kidnaps that kid, the person who is holding that woman's son will free him. And thus, the chain begins. Yeah, the chain, okay? Look, the chain. So after she gets all this information, the lady sends this last ominous message. It's not about the money. It's about the chain. And it's like, what the hell is the chain? So just imagine all this is happening. You got to pull over, okay? I don't know about you. I'm like, I got to digest this. My kid's gone. I can't text her. She ain't responding to me. Some lady has a picture of her in a basement. I got to find $25,000. By the way, I'm broke. I had cancer. I'm sick. I just started working. It's a lot going on. And her ex-husband, He's nowhere to be found. She can't get anything from him. He's just lousy. And so it's just a lot going on. So yeah, needless to say, she did not make it to her appointment, okay? We're going to have to worry about that appointment and this cancer later, baby. We're going to have to worry about it later. So again, this is a lot to deal with, but now the clock begins. Time is ticking, and now she got to figure out how she's going to do all these things to get her child back. And so she realizes that, you know, she can't go to the police. She can't go to the FBI. She's feeling really like defeated immediately. And she's trying to do her best. And she did a lot of good things. But after a while, she's like, you know what? I need some help. So she enlists the help from her ex-brother-in-law, Pete. Pete was a Marine who served 5 combat tours. And if you in danger, you want to call Pete, okay? So while Pete is very strong and helpful, he is also battling a little bit of an opioid addiction. So, I mean, Rachel doesn't know that, but she will soon. So that's just a little side note there, because Pete got his own things he's dealing with, but he's super close to Kylie, so he'll do anything to help his niece. So eventually they do all the things, including kidnapping a child. Yes, it was really scary for her, Rachel, but she is a mom. And I think from what I've read and my own mom and like talking to other people who are parents, you're going to do what you got to do for your child. And that was really tough for her to have to put another parent through the pain and fear that she was already dealing with from her own child's kidnapping situation. So they do all the things that they needed to do, including kidnapping a child. And even though there were a few hiccups in that, everything was done. And eventually, Kylie was released. It was a great moment of reunion for Kylie, Rachel, and Pete. But at the end of the day, their nightmare was far from over. You see, they're now indebted to the chain. And so even if you wanted to kind of like run off and tell the police about what happened, you've committed a crime. You've kidnapped someone's kid aggressively with a firearm. You've done a lot of crazy things, okay? A lot of crazy things. So even if you were to like, I'm out the game, I'm gonna snitch and tell everybody, like you can't. And because there's so many people, we don't even know how long the chain has gone back, but they're manipulating and blackmailing these families over and over. It really is a chain. Boop, 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 boop. You got one, switch my kid out, your kid, boom, boom, boom. It's crazy. So it's just like a blackmail chain. And it's awful. And like once you're in it forever, because throughout the story, we see that some of the former chain victim / suspects, they pop up doing deeds for the people at the top of the chain. So it is very interesting. And also not just interesting, it's also just stressful. Like you never know when these crazy people are finna call you and be like, hey, I need you to do something for the chain. And if you don't, like, I'm gonna kidnap your daughter again. Like it's not funny, but it's like, it's really stressful. And like, you can't tell anybody about it, because if you tell anybody, because they're monitoring you in all ways, if you tell anybody about it, they gonna find your ass and they will kill you. So yeah, it's a little intense to say the least. So now they're indebted to the chain, and this chain will keep going. More families and more children are being tortured by this self-working machine. And then also just like, even though Kylie's at home and everything seems okay, that psychological trauma of being kidnapped, taken, people waving guns around you, shooting people, all kind of crazy stuff, that is very heavy on you. And if you can't properly express those feelings or those fears, they just manifest and harbor within you. And so, yeah, it was really tough for the whole family because, again, they couldn't tell anybody about what was happening, just out of fear of extortion or blackmail or just happening all over again. It just really was very harmful for them, but especially Kylie. I mean, she's 13. That is a trauma that you really won't get over. You just have to get through it. But if you can't talk to anybody about it, you're not getting through it. And so you're just suffering within. And that's just unfortunate. So with Kylie suffering, Rachel is just determined to take down the chain. And so she and Pete, it's like a buddy movie. They're back at it again. Pew, 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 guns are blazing. But they're ready to take down whoever is at the top of this chain. Because they can't have Kylie feeling like she don't want to be here no more because she can't tell her friends about what actually happened to her. Like, not that she was sick, like that they told them, yeah, Kylie was sick. No, she was kidnapped. And it's just really sad. So yeah, they're on a mission to take down and break the chain. I won't get too deep into the origins of the chain, but it is kind of wild. Basically, it started out from these two psychopathic twins who come from like some dying hippie commune in the 80s. It's honestly not that wild. It's just bizarre. It's very bizarre. The themes of this book deal with moral ambiguity, the incredible impact of coercion and threats, and the resilience to basically take down systemic evil. So this book was pretty good. I enjoyed it. It kept me engaged, and I was really interested in, I wanted to know what was going to happen next. Because I'm like, okay, honestly, once they got Kylie, I was like, are they just gonna just let it be? But no, they couldn't. And I'm glad, because I was wondering, I was like, are they just not gonna do anything about these people who kidnapped her kid? And they're like, no, we're gonna do something. So I was happy about that. There wasn't really anything that I disliked about this book other than Rachel's ex-husband. And I don't think that he's a bad guy. I just think he's a little tacky. You know, for an ex-husband, I have never had an ex-husband before, but for an ex-husband, I think he was pretty good. He was very good dad, pretty good at being there for Rachel for the most part. But I think as a husband, he was a little wonky. Like, your wife gets sick with cancer, she is slowly dying, and you break up with her. That was just trifling. That was really trifling. And then not only do you break up with her, but you got like some new little bimbo that's around your kid. And I just think that was tacky. And it was just tacky. And I just didn't like that for her. I didn't like it for either of them. I didn't like it for her. I didn't like it for Kylie. I just wanted him to be a better man. And I think he still was like I said, he was a provider and helped Rachel when she needed. They were very amicable. Like, there was no like beef, but I just didn't like how he treated her. And honestly, I'm gonna just leave it at that, because that'll give a little spoiler. But yeah, I just think he was a kind of a trash husband at the time, and honestly kind of unaware. So he was kind of a bad ex-husband. I won't say he was a bad ex-husband. He was a troubled husband and a kind of like ex-husband, because I'm like, why are you not helping? So that's that. Okay, so there are just some things about white women that I find hilarious. And one of them is calling someone you bitch. I don't know. I think it's funny when anyone directly says you bitch. I just think it's funny. I don't know why. I think it's just the inflection. And it's just something about how a white woman does it that makes me laugh even more. And Rachel said that a lot. Actually, a lot of the women in this book said that a lot. The bad guy said it, and Rachel. And I really felt Rachel's energy when she said it. She was like, listen here, you bitch. You let my daughter go. And I'm just like, yeah, you let her go, you bitch. And so it was just very aggressive. And I just thought that was really funny. And so like anytime she said it, I would giggle, because she was really, it's the inflection of it. I'm not going to do like a phonetic on you bitch, but like, you bitch, like you get it. You get it. I'd also like to say that I do appreciate how Rachel was really about it. She was about it. She was finna shoot a motherfucker for her daughter. She was finna shoot. She was finna kill. She was going Rachel, even though like that's also crazy because in the book, this is not really a spoiler. It's not like a super crazy thing. We already know that she had cancer. It kind of came back, so she had to do some therapy, some chemotherapy. So she was kind of weak, like in her body, like very sick. But like that mother's love will really give you that adrenaline you need. And so she was not playing. She was like, all right, we got to load this up and shoot the bad guy. Like she, so, you know, she was not playing. So I really appreciated her like resilience for doing what she wanted to, doing what she needed to do to save her child. And I think that most parents would be that way. I mean, I told you again, like in that book, the second book from the African Immortals, where Lucas, he was like a real calm, chill dude, but then he turned up because he was like, I need this cure for my son. So, so yeah, I will never put anything past the love and the determination of a parent looking out for their child ever. Rachel was really, truly willing to do anything and whatever it took to get her daughter back and to not let her just be a little mill in this machine. And even so, here's the thing that kind of gets into ethics and what's right? Because yeah, it's crazy to put someone else through the same thing that you're going through as a means to let your child go. So I do think that this book was a really good example of how people pick and choose their ethics and their morals. And, you know, because in her mind, she did go battle through with that. She's like, I really don't want to do this, but I got to do whatever I got to do for Kylie, you know, and then the next people, they just want to figure it out. Okay. And it's actually really funny. And I think it's really interesting that the way that the chain was manufactured, that you can't get your child until the next person kidnaps a kid. When they kidnap a kid and they're in their possession, then you could get your kid back after you send them hella money too. So it was just tough. It was tough. So I think that it's a really good look at ethics. Like, is it wrong to kidnap a kid? Absolutely. But is it wrong to do it for the freedom of your child? That's up to you guys. I don't know, but I do want to know for the parents out there, would y'all kidnap another kid to save your own child? And think about all your kids, right? Maybe you got one that's a favorite. Maybe you'll go a little harder. Maybe you'll go a little harder for that child. Don't judge me for asking that question. I feel like people be thinking about that, okay? Like, you know, Andy was doing really bad in school. You know, maybe I won't save him. But, you know, if Erica needed saving, she's a straight A student. She's the one who's going to be a doctor. I need that money. I need that retirement. I'm going to save Erica. Maybe that Andy. Oh, that's messed up. But let me know. Y'all saving all y'all kids or no? Y'all saving all y'all kids and are y'all kidnapping other kids for your kids? Be honest. Be honest with yourself. It's okay. I ain't gonna tell nobody. I ain't gonna tell nobody. Now, for the rest of the story, I was pretty entertained. I think that it was compelling enough for me to really be tuned into like, ooh, what's happening next? But I will say this though. I think that the reasoning for the twins is like really messed up in the head reason, and why they wanted to make this machine really just didn't sit right with me. Not even like that it's like morally wrong. It just wasn't like a compelling story. Like their backstory kind of felt thrown together in some aspects. Like I thought that it was going to be interesting when I learned about them coming from this weirdo commune and then these iterations throughout their life. But like, I think the absolute like reason why they started the chain, I really don't get it. I still don't know. And so for that, I'm just not really impressed with that. But again, it was a pretty good It was a pretty good book. So it was enough for me to be engaged to finish it. Cause I will put a book down. I might come back to it later, or I might not. If I really don't like it, I'm not going to get that far enough to care to come back to it. So, so yeah, I'd say that this book did pretty good at that. So all in all, it was a pretty entertaining and quick read. And so for that, I will give this book a solid 3 out of 5 golden bookmarks. I think it did enough for me. I didn't have like super high expectations of this book. I found this book, like I've been in a thriller kind of mood, and I've been looking for creepy books essentially. And so I found this one and I was like, okay. And then I think it did what it needed to do. It was entertaining. It was quick. I was tuned in. Yeah, I think it did what it needed to do. So for that, I am grateful. And that wraps up another episode of the Cozy Little Book Club. Thanks so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. If you've made it to the end, please leave a little stack of book emojis. And if you've read the book, please let me know your thoughts. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so that you know each time that we drop a new episode each week. Except next week is Christmas, so I will not be posting a new book review, but I do hope that you spend time with your family, your friends, your pets, whatever loved ones you got, and I hope that you all enjoy that time together. There will not be a new episode next week, but there will be one on the first day of the new year. Thanks again for tuning in. I hope you have a lovely day and a happy holiday, whatever you may celebrate. And remember, when you open a book, you open your mind. Until next time, peace.